As we brace for more frigid temperatures and possible snow, Governor Josh Stein is set to address the state on its preparations for winter weather. Right now, he is at the National Guard Armory here in Greensboro. Let's head there and listen in.
Okay. Thank you. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us on this cold afternoon. Winter weather is once again here in North Carolina. As Director Ray will outline, eastern North Carolina will see the greatest effects, in some counties up to 8 inches of snow. Tonight and tomorrow morning, we're concerned with unsafe roadway conditions, especially in those areas that receive the wintry precipitation. For those who live along the coast or in areas that receive snow or sleet, please avoid driving unless it is absolutely necessary to travel. When precipitation falls tonight, there will be possible accumulation due to cold ground temperatures. If you have to drive, monitor weather conditions before traveling. Drivers should avoid slippery road conditions. Elsewhere in the state, people are experiencing dangerously bitter cold temperatures. Many communities have opened warming stations for those who need safe refuge from cold temperatures. You can find information on resources in your community by visiting your local government or emergency management agency's website and social media accounts. This morning, in addition to Director Ray, I'm also joined by the Adjutant General of the North Carolina National Guard, Major General Todd Hunt, Secretary of Public Safety, Eddie Buffalo, Commander of the State Highway Patrol, Colonel Freddie Johnson, and DOT Chief Operating Officer Chris Peoples. At this point, I'll turn it over to Emergency Management Director Will Ray to provide some updates on the weather forecast.
Thank you, Governor. Good afternoon, everyone. As we move into tonight, portions of central and eastern North Carolina may experience winter precipitation in the form of sleet and snow, and the entire state, as the governor said, will experience bitterly cold conditions. A winter storm warning is in effect starting today at 5 p.m. for the entire North Carolina coastline and inland counties in far eastern North Carolina. The current forecast places the greatest snowfall totals across the Outer Banks and northeastern coastal counties, Carteret, southern Craven, Pamlico, Terrell, and Hyde counties, where 6 to 8 inches of snowfall is possible. A winter weather advisory is also in effect for counties in eastern North Carolina and into much of central North Carolina beginning at 4 p.m. today, where 1 to 3 inches of snowfall is possible, particularly in our eastern counties. A cold weather advisory remains in effect for the entire state tonight through midday tomorrow. Wind chill values as low as 14 below zero will be possible across the mountains, and single digits down to 0 degrees are possible across the state tonight into tomorrow. In both Ashe and Watauga counties, an extreme cold warning remains in effect tonight and into tomorrow, where wind chill values as low as 15 below zero are possible. We've been monitoring the weather system and possible impacts late last week and through this weekend. And while we could continue to see some changes in forecast track and impacts, we activated portions of the State Emergency Response Team to ensure that we are postured to support our local communities and our state partners. The State Emergency Operations Center in Raleigh and our Regional Coordination Center East activated this morning, and we have proactively deployed components of the North Carolina National Guard into the eastern part of the state to support any local emergency services and public safety needs. These include multiple all hazards response teams with 4x4 capability staged for deployment, as well as 2 hotspot teams to support the Department of Transportation with road clearance, same as we do in the West. State and local emergency management personnel will remain in close coordination to ensure all resources are available and ready to respond for needs that may arise. There are currently 25 local emergency operations centers that are either at monitoring or open to manage the potential winter weather situation. 17 school systems and the Cherokee tribal schools are closed today, with 6 delayed starts being reported due to the cold temperatures this morning. An additional 7 school systems have implemented their remote learning protocols, and 8 school systems in eastern North Carolina are releasing early today. In areas that receive sleet and snowfall, accumulation is likely due to the cold ground temperatures, and we should expect slick roadway conditions. If you do not need to be on the road, please stay home for your safety and for the safety of our first responders and DOT personnel that may be out. If you have questions about roadway conditions, as always, please visit drivenc.gov. North Carolina continues to experience some of the coldest temperatures in quite some time, and I would like to remind all North Carolinians of a few key points this week. First, is that extremely cold temperatures, like what we are experiencing, can be very dangerous. Please make sure that you and your family are prepared. And as we move through the week, please make sure you're dressing in layers, covering exposed skin, limiting time outdoors, specifically taking care of pets and other animals, and conserving energy where you can. You can find more about how to ensure that your family is ready for cold temperatures and winter weather by visiting readync.gov. Second is that ice may also form on ponds, creeks, and rivers with temperatures like we're experiencing. In North Carolina, the ice is never safe for anyone or pets to walk on. While it is a rare sight here, please enjoy it from the safety of the shore. Finally, for those in western North Carolina continuing to recover from the devastation of Tropical Storm Helene, if you need resources, assistance with housing, or help navigating the recovery process, please call the North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program at 1-844-746-2361 or visit ncdps.gov/Helene. The North Carolina Disaster Case Management Program was established to guide survivors through the recovery process, to assist with making a recovery plan to fit those individual needs, and to find resources to assist each survivor. As a reminder, you do not have to apply for FEMA assistance to receive assistance through this state program. Thank you, Governor.
I also want to thank the DOT crews who've been preparing for the storm and have begun pre-treating roads, focusing on eastern North Carolina. During winter weather, just like any severe weather situation in our state, the number one priority for all of us is to keep people safe. Make sure that you have everything you need in advance of the winter weather. Check on your loved ones and anyone you know who may be especially vulnerable. As you just heard from Director Ray, we recommend the following actions as we navigate this winter weather event. Pay close attention to your local weather forecast and be prepared for whatever is expected in your area. Keep cell phones, mobile devices, spare batteries charged in case of power outages, and enable emergency alerts on your telephone so that you can hear from local emergency management agencies and the National Weather Service. Keep cabinet doors open, located under sinks, and let your faucets drip to prevent the pipes from freezing. In snowy and icy areas, please avoid traveling. The roads are the most dangerous place to be in a winter storm like this. If you have to be on the road, make sure that you have an emergency kit in your vehicle, including food, an ice scraper, jumper cables, a flashlight, extra clothing, blankets, water, and a first aid kit. Thank you, and at this point, we're happy to take any questions you have.
Governor, Dewan Hogarth, WTVD. If you could take a look at previous storms, what have we learned from those previous storms that you've been able to apply to the response today?
These folks are always on their front toes. So they anticipated this storm last week and began their preparations. The Department of Transportation has been brining the roads to make it harder for the ice to stick to the roads. Highway Patrol has all of their folks out making sure that they're tagging cars and getting them towed so that we're not worrying about these stray cars on the side of the road and do they have a person in them or not. The National Guard has put advanced troops in eastern North Carolina and Kinston so that if there are needs for them to go out and rescue folks, they're on the ground ready to do it. So one unfortunate reality of living in North Carolina is we have a lot of bad weather. And when we have that weather, it gives us the experience to know what we need to do in anticipation of a storm. These things happened last week when we had the other winter weather event, and to my knowledge, no one died on the roads because of the storm.
And can you speak to what's being forecast to the eastern part of the state? Normally it would be the other way around, where we expect folks on the west to get more snow. Now it's different this time around?
Yeah, Director A can follow up, but the line is between Route 1 and 95. And as you get east of 95, we're anticipating more snow. And as you get west of Route 1, less snow. It is counterintuitive from what we traditionally have when it comes to winter weather.
Chair, GP out of Sanford, this is not a question, but I just wanted to tell you how much I appreciate the National Guard, the state troopers, and all the fine work that you've been doing. Because I'm driving up and down the road in a little small Honda CRV, and it's always nice to know that I'm getting home safe.
These guys work hard.
What would you, I know you talked a little bit about it, but what would be your main thing?
You've been watching Governor Stein talk about winter weather preps here in our state. I think the biggest thing that you hear out of there is the realization that the Outer Banks are going to see snow, and not just a little bit of snow. They're forecasting somewhere around 6 to 8 inches of snow on the Outer Banks, which just does not happen. Winter weather advisory starting at 5 o'clock on the coastline. For the rest of us, really the bitter cold temperatures are the highlight there, and the reminder that there could be any kind of power outage at any point in time to make sure that you charge those devices up. All right, so as we're talking about these temperatures and what we could possibly see here, we want to get an update from Chief Meteorologist Tim Buckley.
Yeah, thank you, Tanya. You know, we've been monitoring this weather system for quite a while as well, and today is when we're going to see it move through the state. This will be a winter storm for most of North Carolina, but here in the Triad, we are on the edge. And what I mean by that is that somewhere in our area is going to be the dividing line between no snow and some snow. And that's all the difference when you're talking about impacts to roadways when it's so cold outside. So bottom line, we do have our News 2 weather impact alert all the way through Thursday for the cold weather, but also including our threat of snow for this evening. We're expecting between a trace to 1 inch in parts of our area. That means there could be slick roads that develop. You have to drive slowly or avoid travel, as the governor said. So where is the system? We're going to get to that in just a second. First, I wanted to let you know, as you're tracking at home using your mobile radar, notice it shows snow over the area right now. It's not snowing anywhere at this time. Everyone is dry and just cloudy right now. Temperatures are bitterly cold in the 20s. Why is that snow not reaching the ground? The air is too dry. Our dew points right now are below 0, which means that snow falls and then it gets evaporated before it hits the ground. That's what's happening right now. The storm system is a big one. It moved through Texas. Louisiana is still getting snow, and we're just starting to see some of that moisture move up our way. This is the first time in recorded history that there were blizzard warnings issued along the Gulf Coast this far south. Louisiana has been getting it. This is a live image that I have never seen before in New Orleans. Palm trees in the breeze here with heavy, heavy snow, whiteout conditions. I've used this camera before to report on hurricanes. This is Houston. You see those snow-covered highways. They are not built for that sort of thing. So this is an unusual storm. How does it track? Well, true to form, like I said, this is around 6 o'clock tonight. You see the snow line? There we are in the Triad. North and west, totally dry. You're not getting snow in the foothills today. If you live south and east of Greensboro, you do have a good chance for a couple of hours of some snow. And that could start as early as 4 to 5 o'clock and then linger as long as about 9 to 10 o'clock or so before it moves off east. But look how tough it is down there. Raleigh, Fayetteville, Wilmington, the Outer Banks, several inches of snow are likely for that part of the state. Again, we're on the outside, on that outer edge of the storm system. So over the next several hours, we do have the chance of some snow showers, mostly south and east of Greensboro, but all of us should be aware of it. If it starts snowing in your area in the next couple of hours, you are going to see it stick, and the roadways will get slicked up very, very quickly. because there's just no way to melt it when it's this cold outside. Our current estimation of that cutoff line between dry and snow is right about here. So across Stokes County and Forsyth County and Yadkin, that's probably the edge of where you would see any snow. Around a trace to a half an inch is possible in the Triad, and maybe upwards of half an inch to 1 inch as you get over toward Burlington, Mebane, Asheboro, Ramseur, Troy, and then Raleigh could see 1 to 2 inches over that way. Don't want to forget about the bitter cold. Overnight tonight, we will be dropping down to around 12 degrees. We still have more cold weather over the next couple of mornings. We'll finally start to thaw slightly Thursday afternoon. So whatever falls and sticks is not going to melt anytime soon. That's our estimation. We keep this News 2 weather impact alert around through Thursday morning as the bitter cold continues. And I want to tell you something, because as we continue through this and the rest of the afternoon, you're going to want some updates. Of course, we'll have you covered on air with newscasts from 4 to 6:30, but you can also get extended weather coverage on WFMY News 2 Plus. It's free. There's no subscription here. You just download that app to your Roku TV, Fire TV, or Apple TV. Once you're there, you're going to see plenty of extra weather coverage from us on the hour, and you'll also get live radar coverage too. That's WFMY Plus on your smart TV. We'll see you for the news at 4 o'clock.